Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now.
That's
See
right.
a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy.
Real slick.
I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got... Hello, Grand Rising, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. Also, thanks to those of you tuned in on the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channels if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. And if you're mad, please exit stage left and unsubscribe. You know I don't care. All right. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, on TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. All right. Hey, Eileen, Mr. Hotel, D. Griffin, Pearly, Jag the Diva, Kenyatta, Juju, Christina, Deneen, Metasimplicus, Nicole. All right. Thank you, Nicole, said I love the background. Thank you. Nina is in the house. Okay, so let's get into it. That Crazy Beach Aries. Okay. Danny, I see you. Brand Slayer TV, Aboriginal Woman, Emperor Rex, Melanin A1, okay, G from the Land, Vina, PHP, Princess, and Kathy B. Shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. I was actually almost on time this morning, but I had technical difficulties. All right, so anyway, let's get into it. Before I get started on my commentary, let me just tell you all, I had a strange dream last night. I had a dream that I was at the mall And everybody started acting, well, not everybody, but a lot of people started acting real strange, like just standing around looking all crazy, not moving, staring into space. And then I saw some people running. So, of course, me being black, I started running too. I didn't have to ask questions. So, as I ran, I'm running through the mall. And then I see these people coming in the mall that were looking just as crazy as the people we were running from. They were standing there looking all crazy, just looking around and all that too as they entered the mall. And then somebody said, "Oh, somebody turned them into zombies. They're all zombies." So the first thing I thought about was the zombie apocalypse. And let's not forget that the CDC and the Pentagon have a whole zombie apocalypse preparedness act. Now, why would they have all that? Well, so anyway, as I'm running to my car, I hear someone say, "Yeah, well, who did this? Who did it?" And then someone says, "It was either the white man or the devil." I'm just telling you what I dreamt. And at the end of the day, come to find out, someone had sprayed some type of mist in the air that was turning people into zombies. Pay attention. Y'all know I have prophetic dreams. I'm not saying y'all gonna turn into zombies, but I'm just saying somebody's gonna turn into zombies. Okay? I'm just saying. Reggie said that was a trank dream, Queen. No, honey, that wasn't trank. Those people were zombies. That were zombies. I told y'all they got a zombie apocalypse coming. Y'all better pay attention. Stock up on your food and items and water and all of that. Okay. And get your weapons and your ammunition, because when the zombies come knocking at your door, you want to be prepared. You don't want to get caught lacking. Okay. Melon A1 said, so we need to be cautious. Yes, that's all I'm saying. Okay. I'm telling y'all this for a reason. Now, I could be wrong, but a lot of times my dreams are prophetic. Y'all know that. And I can usually tell the prophetic dreams during the time of morning or night that I have them. Pay attention. Okay. So, anyway, with that all being said, thank you, Piggy's Pig said, love the background. I'm getting a lot of compliments on this graffiti background, honey. I was just really trying to make it blend in with my hoodie. Okay. So, let's get into it. Listen to this. This is a sad story, beloveds. This is a sad story. Okay. 7 deputies charged with red rum backwards. Y'all know what that is. Of a man by the name of Irvo Otieno. This man is an African, and he had mental health issues. And I want you all to pay attention, because you see, he's an African, and he got the same treatment that we get. That's all I'm saying. Y'all do know that, right? So when y'all are sitting up there, some of you trying to say that the black immigrants are this problem and that problem or whatever, we all have the same plight at the end of the day. And for those of them black immigrants who say that we're the problem and this and that, we all have the same problem and the same common foe. So y'all need to sit down somewhere. Okay, so now this happened in Dinwiddie, Virginia. Video from a state mental hospital shows a black Virginia man who was handcuffed and shackled being pinned down to the ground by 7 deputies who are now facing second-degree murder charges in his death. Okay, according to relatives of the man and their attorneys who viewed the footage on Thursday. Now, 3 people employed by the hospital have also been charged, so 10 people altogether. Let me just put his picture up on the screen and show y'all the thugs that did it. That's the man right there. That's the man, unfortunately, who met his demise. So anyway, they go on to say, speaking at a news conference shortly after the video with a local prosecutor, the family and attorneys condemned the brutal treatment that they said Irvo Otieno, age 28, was subjected to. First at a local jail and then at the state hospital, where authorities say he passed away March the 6th during the admission process. Didn't even get registered and checked in. Now, they called on the U.S. Department of Justice to intervene in the case, saying that Otieno's constitutional rights were clearly violated. His mother said, "What I saw today was heartbreaking, America. It was disturbing. It was traumatic. My son was tortured." His mother's name is Caroline Oko. I believe that's how you say it. Now, Otieno's case marks the latest example of a black man's in custody death that has law enforcement under scrutiny. And I just want you to pay attention. Like I said, this man is African, but they keep referring to him as black. You see, the thing is this: they don't care where you're from. Or when they see you drenched in melanin. That's what y'all need to wake up and realize, some of you. They don't care where you're from. You could be African, African American, Jamaican, Trinidadian. As long as they see you drenched in melanin, honey, you're going to get the same treatment. Pay attention. Now, it follows the fatal beating of Tyree Nichols in Memphis, Tennessee, earlier this year, and comes nearly 3 years after the killing of George Floyd in police custody in Minneapolis. Ben Crump, who represents Floyd's family and is now working with Otieno's family, quickly drew a comparison. He said, it's truly shocking that nearly 3 years after the brutal killing of George Floyd by police, another family is grieving a loved one who allegedly died in nearly the exact same manner. Okay, so I'm going to show you all the thugs that have been charged. That's them right there. Those are the 7 deputies. And look at them. Just look at them. Most of them look like us. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? But y'all sitting up here worried about immigrants from other places that look like us. Honey, you got people that look like us right here deleting us. Y'all sound so crazy. Making that make sense. I'm sure no one can. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, those are people that look like us that did it to this man, and also that did it to Tyree Nichols. FBAs. Isn't that what y'all call yourselves, some of you? But let me continue. Now, I'm going to share my screen and show the video of the press conference that was held by Ben Crump and the family of Otieno.
Treated like a dog, worse than a dog. I saw it with my own eyes on the video.
The family of 28-year-old Irvo Otieno, who died in custody, has now seen video of the fatal incident.
At what point do we stop preserving life? At what point do we consider mental illness a crime?
Prosecutors say Otieno was smothered to death by 7 sheriff's deputies and 3 hospital employees, restraining him during intake at a mental health facility. 7 sheriff's deputies in Henrico County, Virginia, were arrested Tuesday and charged with second-degree murder.
Why would any law enforcement officer put a knee on the neck of a person who is face down, handcuffed, and restrained?
Otieno was arrested March 3rd after police say they responded to a burglary call next door, took him to the hospital for evaluation, where he became, quote, physically assaultive. After a weekend in jail, where prosecutors say video shows Otieno was pepper sprayed, punched, and mistreated, he was brought to the Central State Mental Facility on March 6th, where authorities allege he became combative.
And the videos are never confrontational with them. He is not posing a threat to them. He's not violent or aggressive with them.
Today, prosecutors announced 3 staffers at the mental health facility have also been arrested on second-degree murder charges.
Ultimately, some Central State people as well on top of them. No one assisting.
In court this week, an early glimpse of the deputy's potential defense, one lawyer citing this.
The ongoing issues that they had been having with this individual with regards to his disorderly conduct, with regards to his aggression, with regards to his resistance.
But his family says what he needed was help. What do you want to see happen to these deputies, either of you?
Justice. I would like them put away, if you ask me, for life. That they don't see the light of day again. What they did to my son was horrific. Horrific.
We've reached out to the Central State Hospital Mental Health Facility for their response to 3 of their employees being charged with second-degree murder. We have not heard back. We have also reached out to the attorneys identified so far for the 7 deputies who have been charged. We've only heard back in detail from the lawyers for one of them, Deputy Bradley Diss, who told us that their client looks forward to being vindicated in court.
Vindicated? I think not. I think not. Now listen, Pensacola says, say it, Queen, we're sick and tired of Satan, we're sick and tired of waiting. Exactly. Now, here's the thing. I see you all going in on Crump in the comment section. Can you all please, anyone, please tell me, what do you all want Crump to do? What do you all want Crump to do? Crump is a civil rights attorney. Not a criminal attorney. He is a civil rights attorney. I'm just saying. So even if these thugs get indicted, well, they've already been charged, but I'm just saying, if they go to trial, right? If they go to trial, Crump is not the one that's going to be the defense attorney. What do y'all expect the man to do? I'm just curious. Somebody please tell me what y'all want this man to do. I have questions. Somebody, I'm waiting. Put it in the chat. Crump is a civil attorney. Exactly, says Timberdale. Exactly. He's a civil rights attorney. His job is to get the family compensation. Now, let me ask y'all this. So, Mr. Hotel said Crump is doing what he should do. Yes. And if you all haven't watched the documentary about Benjamin Crump on Netflix called Civil, I suggest you watch it. You'll find out a lot. Okay? You'll find out a lot. And at the end of the day, he's money hungry. Well, C-Stan, that is debatable. Maybe he is. But here's what y'all don't realize. Crump doesn't make most of his money off of these cases. He makes most of his money off of other cases that you don't hear about. You see, you hear about these cases because they're highlighted because of them being social injustices, okay, with people that look like us deleted by the police. So you see all of those cases. Nessie X said, very good documentary. Yes, it was. And so with that all being said, I mean, all lawyers are trying to get a bag, are they not? You think they go to college all those years to not make money? Y'all sound crazy. Y'all need to sit down somewhere. Meanwhile, some of you will sit up here and give your money for free to grifters on the internet who don't do anything but sit up here and talk trash. I'm sorry. Say what? Say what? Yeah, that's what y'all do. Some of y'all sit up here and give y'all some money to grifters who give y'all fake webinars acting like they can do all kinds of stuff and make you rich, but they're not even rich. If they were, they wouldn't be on ScrewTube at the end of the day. Y'all do all kinds of stuff. That's what y'all do. Y'all spend y'all money on foolishness, and then y'all want to sit up here. Y'all don't say nothing about the people that grift you out of your coins, but y'all want to sit up here and talk about Benjamin Crump and say he's trying to make a bag. Of course he's trying to make a bag. If I was an attorney, I'd be trying to make a bag too. Okay, Kenyatta said hashtag buy a wig, hashtag buy a bussy Rick. Exactly. All right. That's what I'm saying. Okay, it's so. What's the name of it again, Queen and Family? The name of what, beloved? Brad says that Queen, you are hilarious. Say what? I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm being very serious. Y'all going in on Crump. Would you rather somebody that looks like Brad, or would you rather Brad or Chad represent them? Would you rather Brad or Chad represent them? I'm just saying, pay attention, okay? At the end of the day, like I said, we were all like this before the documentary, Queen. Yes, we were. Yes, we were. I had my times when I talked trash about Crump too. Yes, I absolutely did. But when I saw that documentary, it was very insightful, and it gave me a lot of information that I had not known about into Crump. Okay, and with that all being said, Queen looks like she's ready to fight the good fight. Big up to the Queen, says the sheriff. Thank you, beloved. You know I always am. But so all I'm saying is, listen, like I've said before, if you are working at a job and you get injured, then your family or yourself, you deserve compensation. So you would get a civil rights attorney for that. Or, you would get a personal injury attorney, right? In that type of case. But if someone in your family got, they passed away at a job due to negligence of the job or whatever, you would get someone like Crump. Okay, Crump is good at what he does. That's why these people keep going to him. You all don't think that all these Black families that go to him see him doing this all the time. Y'all don't think that they see him represent all these other Black families. Okay, so that's why they keep going to him, because he gets them their bag. At the end of the day, you may need that money that Crump gets you to fight for your family to get justice. Did that ever occur to you? Maybe you didn't have insurance on the person and you had to take out a loan or something to pay for the funeral expenses, and then you now have to pay that back. You could do that with the money Crump's going to get you. It's a myriad of things you could do with the money. I'm just saying. And so would y'all rather for somebody to get deleted and then the family not get anything? I have questions. Team Shugite. It says sell out. I mean, well, call them what you want. I'm not here to plead his case. I'm just telling y'all my opinion. All right. Some of y'all sitting here talking trash will be the first ones to call Crump if the same thing happened to you. I guarantee you. But let me continue. Greta said, point made, Queen. Well, thank you, beloved. Thank you. So anyway, this is all a sad story. Like I said, 10 people so far have been charged with second-degree murder in Otieno's death. The 7 Henrico County Sheriff's deputies were charged Tuesday, and additional charges were announced Thursday against 3 people who were employed at the hospital. Now, the footage the family watched Thursday has not been publicly released. But Dinwiddie County Commonwealth's attorney, Ann Cable Baskerville, also described it in court on Wednesday, saying at the first hearing for the deputies that Otieno was smothered to death. Baskerville said Otieno did not appear combative, so they lied on him, and was sitting in a chair before being pulled to the ground by the officers. She announced Thursday in a news release the additional charges against the hospital employees, and their names are Darian M. Blackwell. Well, he's clearly somebody who looks like us, Darian, okay? And then we have, and he's 23. And then we have Wavy L. Jones, 34. And then he's of Chesterfield. And then we have Sedarius. This is another person who looks like us. Pay attention. Okay, FBA. Sedarius D. Williams, 27. They were being held without bond, and it wasn't immediately clear if they had attorneys who would speak on their behalf. A spokeswoman for the state police said she didn't know if they had obtained counsel, and none were listed in the court records. The news release did not say what role they were alleged to have in Otieno's death. And let me just tell you something, how y'all don't stay focused. Mr. Hotel said, FBA, sit down. Exactly. Let me just tell you something, how y'all don't stay focused. Here's how petty y'all are. Now, I know I'm petty, but I'm petty like funny petty, like ha-ha petty. Y'all are petty like nefarious petty. Y'all sitting up here going in on Crump. Why aren't you having the same energy for the black folk who deleted this man? The people who look like us. Y'all talk about Crump's a sellout. No, they're the sellouts. You see, they took out somebody who looks like them. Okay, that's what they did. They took out somebody who looks like them. Y'all didn't say one word about them. I find it all so interesting how misguided some of you are. Y'all sitting in here going in on Crump. Crump is doing his job, and whether you like it or not, that's what he gets paid to do. And the family picked him. So if they picked him, why are y'all mad? When y'all have a situation like that, God forbid if you ever do, then just don't pick Crump if that's how you feel. But these people picked him. So why are y'all mad again? Say what? How come y'all aren't going in on the thugs that deleted this man? Y'all didn't say one word about them when I put their pictures up on the screen. Now to make yourselves make sense. Let me show you again. Yeah, most of them that did it look like us. And like I said, the 3 people that worked at the facility, well, 2 of them look like us too. If we go by their names, I'm pretty sure they look like us. So why aren't y'all going in on them and calling them sellouts? Misplaced anger, but let me continue. Selective outrage, but as I said, I digress. So with that all being said, Otieno was a child when his family immigrated from Kenya and grew up in suburban Richmond, had a history of mental health struggles, and was experiencing mental distress at the time of his initial encounter and law enforcement earlier this month. Now, that set off a chain of events that led to him spending several days in custody before authorities say he died on March the 6th as he was being admitted to Central State Hospital in South Richmond. Cruddy says the footage from the hospital also showed a lack of urgency to help Otieno after the deputies determined that he was lifeless and not breathing. They didn't even try to resuscitate the man. Otieno was a deeply loved young man and aspiring musician who had been a well-known high school athlete. There is goodness in his music, and that's all that I'm left with now. He's gone. That's what his mother said. This is all so sad. And so I cannot be at his wedding. I'll never see a grandchild because someone refused to help him. No one stood up to stop what was going on. Otieno was first taken into custody March 3rd, according to a timeline provided by Henrico County Police, a separate agency from the sheriff's office. The police department said in a news release that officers encountered Otieno while responding to a report of possible burglary in suburban Richmond, and that based on his behavior, they put him under an emergency custody order and took him to a local hospital for evaluation. Now, according to Cruddy's, Otieno was experiencing a mental health crisis, and a neighbor called police over concerns about him gathering lawn lights from a yard. He said Otieno's mother tried to de-escalate the initial response from a crowd of police officers and said the family supported him being taken to the hospital for treatment. Of course, they didn't know they were going to delete the man. But while he was at the hospital, police said he became physically assaultive toward officers who arrested him and took him to the local jail that is managed by the Henrico Sheriff's Office, where he was served with several charges. While Otieno was in jail, he was denied access to needed medications. This is what the family's attorney reported. Now, the family also viewed video from that facility on Thursday, which they said showed Otieno was subjected to further brutality by unidentified officers. Crump said he was pepper sprayed, and Cruddy said the video showed officers on March the 6th charging into his cell, which was covered in feces, as Otieno was naked and handcuffed. The video shows officers carrying an almost lifeless Otieno out by his arms and legs like an animal to a vehicle to be transported to the state hospital. She said, "My son was treated like a dog, worse than a dog." Shannon Taylor, the Commonwealth attorney for Henrico County, said in a statement Thursday that she's conducting a review of what happened in the jail that day, and she pledged to release her findings. The Henrico sheriff declined comment beyond a statement released earlier this week. Around 4 p.m. on March the 6th, employees of the sheriff's office arrived at Central State Hospital to admit Otieno, according to Baskerville. Now, it was not until 7:28 p.m. that evening that state police were called to investigate his death. In court on Wednesday, a defense attorney suggested that 2 medical injections Otieno received may have played a role in his death, which Baskerville disputed. The Office of the Chief Medical Examiner has not released its final determination on how he passed away. 2 of the deputies were released on bond, according to court records and local media. The others remained in custody, with hearings set for next week. Eric Nickel, an attorney for Deputy Bradley Dis, one of the defendants who was released, said in an email on Thursday that DC or Dis has served honorably during a 20-year career with the sheriff's department. Well, whoop-de-doo. That doesn't mean he wasn't doing anything nefarious. He could have been torturing and deleting people the whole time he was there for 20 years. I mean, that's what many of them do. All right. He says he is looking forward to his opportunity to try this case and for the full truth to be shared in court and ultimately vindicated. Now, the Associated Press sent emails and other inquiries and left messages Thursday attempting to reach attorneys listed in court records for the other deputies. The Henrico Fraternal Order of Police Lodge number 4 stood by the deputies in a statement posted to social media Tuesday, urging against a rush to judgment and stressing that the charges are yet to go through the rigors of the legal system. They say news outlets, including the AP, have sought video of the altercation. Officials are withholding it. And why do y'all think they're withholding it? Because they don't want us to see what really happened. And I don't even think I want to see it. Okay. They said they're holding it because of the pending investigation. That's what they always say when they know they're cold busted. Now, Crump said Thursday the family believes the public should see the footage. How do we build trust unless we have transparency and then we have accountability, he said. Anyway, that's just also sad. Very sad. So anyway, let's talk about this missing child before I go in on Biden. Missing 13-year-old Missouri boy last seen riding a skateboard is found dead after more than a month of searching. Jaden Robker disappeared on February the 2nd from Kansas City, Missouri. He was found dead on March the 10th in the nearby city of Gladstone. Authorities confirmed the worst in the search for Jaden Robker. He was 13 years old. He was found that Friday. Now, the teen disappeared from his hometown of Kansas City, Missouri on February the 2nd, was last seen around 3 p.m. on a black skateboard and wearing a green camouflage hoodie, gray sweatpants, and black tennis shoes. The family is concerned for his welfare. That's what they said at the time that he was missing. They had a missing persons flyer out. So sad. Let me share my screen so you all can see a picture of him. Handsome little fellow. Sorry this happened to him. I hope they find the culprits. That's him. I think this is a video of a report. And that's why you have to be careful with your children, because all these people coming up missing, this is crazy. Specifically, Black teenagers, in case y'all hadn't heard.
18-year-old Jaden Robker, whose body was found in a Northland pond off North Broadway in Northwest Inglewood.
KMBC 9's Jackson Kurtz was at a memorial near that pond this evening. Jackson?
Yeah, this vigil was super emotional tonight. So many people coming by, leaving things to pay their respects to Jaden and his family during this just difficult time. About 200 friends, family, and supporters, draped in Jaden's favorite color, purple, gathered in the area where Jaden's body was found, many bringing flowers or Pokemon cards to remember him. His family lighting candles on the water for the 13-year-old. Many of his friends and classmates were also here tonight sharing stories of Jaden that they loved. Jaden's aunt telling the crowd that she found Jaden's shoe when she came here earlier today. She calls it a sign.
Many have told me that it was Jaden, just let me know that he sees me. And everything I've been doing to try to find him, and now just honoring him and his greatness.
Really hard night for her. Now, Jaden's aunt did tell us that she called police after she found the shoe. She says it could have been in the bottom of that pond, and then once it dried, it rose up. But still, as emotional as this was tonight, there's still so many unanswered questions on what happened to Jaden, how he ended up on that pond. Tonight, though, it was about remembering who he was as a young man. Live in the Northland, Jackson Kurtz, KMBC 9 News.
Police in Kansas City, Missouri and Gladstone are still investigating Robker's death.
So very sad. My condolences to the family, friends, and loved ones. That's really awful. And bless his heart. Okay, so now let's talk about y'all's president. Let's talk about y'all's president. Biden is always up to his old tricks. So Biden wants to ban TikTok, and they've given him the go-ahead to do so. Well, I find that interesting. I find that also interesting. You see, the only reason he wants to ban TikTok, in my opinion, is because people are, first of all, people who look like us are finding a lot of truth. There's so much information being spread on TikTok, okay? And also because he knows his time is up, okay? Trump gave him the business the other day. Trump gave him the business at the CPAC conference, went in on his whole administration and told no lies. That's what he did. Trump talked about how they put the illegal immigrants up in fancy schmancy hotels like the Waldorf Astoria. Meanwhile, they have disabled veterans lying outside on the concrete. They have mental health issues, which no one's addressing. This is what I'm saying, not Trump. And they have been out there and people just walk over them, step over them, and the government tries to do nothing to help them. But they have the nerve, the audacity, and the gall to say that Colin Kaepernick was disrespecting the veterans. I'm sorry. The ones disrespecting the veterans is this government. They don't give them the resources that they need other than a check that they receive. And then that's barely enough to get by in most cases. And then they don't have any mental health facilities to help them to recover from post-traumatic stress disorder or any type of syndromes that they may be experiencing from being in the military. Okay, but Biden has all this money to send over to Ukraine. And like Trump said, they spend all this money on fake wars. That's what Trump said. They spend all this money on fake wars, but they can't spend money over here for the veterans. Y'all pay attention. So anyway, now Biden wants to ban TikTok. So let's get into it. Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. And then here's another thing. Fedbook, whom some of you call Facebook. Yeah, they're out here telling lies on TikTok. There was some stories that came out a few months back. I believe it was sometime last year, actually, that I reported on. And they said it was TikTok, but come to find out it was Facebook the whole time.
The House has approved the bill that would give the president the ability to ban TikTok. What's interesting about this are the rumors circulating about why. Here's the quick rundown. For the past few years, we have witnessed Google/YouTube, Instagram/Facebook/Meta fighting fight for their lives to compete with TikTok. So now Facebook is pulling out the big guns. Facebook hired a company to do a calculated smear campaign against TikTok. The idea was to plant negative ideas of TikTok in the minds of political leaders. The name of the company is Target Victory, and they contracted with dozens of PR firms across the US to sway public opinion against TikTok. They planted stories casting TikTok as a threat to children and pushing to draw political reporters and local politicians into helping them take down their biggest competitor, aka TikTok, paying special attention to target key congressional districts. And I know what you're thinking. It doesn't seem right that a for-profit company can hire another company with the sole intention of targeting our political leaders. That's what I was thinking. I was like, well, let me go to Targeted Victory's website and see what they have to say for themselves. But once I went to their site, I found that this is just literally what they do. A marketing company that specializes in political campaigns. Now, what's interesting about this is that typically when you think about marketing campaigns and political campaigns, you think about a politician, for example, hiring a company like this in order to get their message out to the people. But what's happening with Meta is not that. Meta hired this company in order to get Meta's message out to politicians under the guise of true journalism. For example, there was this challenge called the Devious Licks Challenge, which showed students vandalizing school property. So Targeted Victory planted articles in the media amplifying this Devious Licks Challenge and boosted the videos themselves of the challenge, which ultimately led a senator to write a letter to call TikTok to testify in court. But according to an investigation, the Devious Licks Challenge was initially spread on Facebook, not TikTok. And they did the same thing with the Slap a Teacher Challenge. No such challenge existed on TikTok. So here we are. We're inching closer to the day where we see that it's possible for Meta to literally obliterate their biggest competition by means of propaganda and subconsciously planted political influence.
This is all about politics. Okay, Biden needs to sit down somewhere. Now, I'll finish going in on him in a minute because I have another video. But before I do, let me say this. High kicks to your teeth said, child, can we go back to MySpace? At least we could customize it. Let me say this. C-Stan said TikTok has some perverse things on there that children don't need to see. Well, that's why parents should keep their children off. If your children don't need to see something on social media, well, then keep them off. That's as simple as that. You're the one that's supposed to run your household, not TikTok. Second of all, TikTok is not the only platform that has things that people shouldn't see. I myself have never seen porn on TikTok, but I have seen it on Facebook, i.e. Fedbook, and on Twitter. And matter of fact, I saw some porn on Twitter yesterday, and I was quite frankly appalled. Because, see, I don't look at porn. And so when I saw that, my eyes began to burn. And so I just wonder how they have these things on Twitter and Fedbook. Another thing that I wonder, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, I was actually on Fedbook, right? And I saw the most disgusting thing. Seriously, the most disgusting thing. I'm not even going to say what it was. But anyway, it was disgusting. Now, what I would like to know is how does Fedbook or Twitter allow such things, and Instagram? Y'all know Instagram is like a whole brothel as far as I'm concerned. There's people on Instagram, which is also owned by the same people that own Fedbook, okay? Mark Zuckerberg, pay attention. So with that all being said, on Instagram, I've seen porn on there too. And it just seems like a brothel, like a site for prostitution, because there's people on there offering to be escorts and talking about how much they charge for this, that, and the third. Well, they don't seem to care because they don't take that stuff down. But what they do take down is truth. When you come on there talking the truth or saying something that's against their narrative and agenda, they'll take that down so quick. What I'd like to know is how come Fedbook, Instagram, and Twitter don't act as quickly when someone posts a video, a live streamed video of them deleting a bunch of people when they're a whole mass shooter and they go live and they start deleting people. How does Fedbook ever let that even come to surface? But if I post something talking slick about Venom, then they want to take that down real fast. I'm sorry, say what about TikTok? I'm just curious. So I'm not taking up or defending TikTok, but what I am saying is that how do you demonize TikTok, but y'all don't have a problem with Fedbook and Instagram and even ScrewTube? I have questions. And C. Stan said, "You glad you're not on social media?" Beloved, you're on social media right now. This is called YouTube. This is social media. Okay? This is social media. Somebody said not on YouTube. Well, I haven't seen porn on YouTube, but I've seen some things that they let other people do, but they won't let us do or say. Pay attention. That's all I'm saying. Y'all not gonna say that YouTube isn't racist. Oh, they are. Pay attention. So anyway, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Anyway, back to Biden. Okay, so here's what else they had to say about Sleepy Joe Jim Crow.
Threatening to ban TikTok if its U.S. operations aren't sold. Many lawmakers believe the Chinese-owned social media site is a national security risk. U.S. has been negotiating with TikTok for more than 2 years on this. Representatives for the social media platform say a sale would not address data concerns. China accuses the U.S. of suppressing TikTok and spreading false information about data security. TikTok CEO is scheduled to appear before Congress on this next week. And some experts are calling the move purely political, saying there is no concrete evidence of a security risk. And joining us now is Georgetown law professor Anupam Chandra. He's an expert on the global regulation of new technologies. Thank you for being with us. Estimated 100 million Americans on TikTok, Anupam. So when you talk about a potential ban, that gets a lot of attention. Why do you think that there is no actual threat posed by TikTok?
So TikTok is an unusual app to make the centerpiece of a national security concern, because it's mostly, as we just saw from all those videos, a public-facing app where people share information. It could be silly dances, it could be their political views, etc. But mostly it's an app that's where people share things to the public. So most of the information on TikTok is largely available to the world already. So if there's something that you're saying on TikTok that you're liking on TikTok, et cetera, it's pretty much already out there.
So you don't think there will be an actual ban coming down the pike? And what about the location services? Because that's a big part of what the concern's all about, right?
So the concerns are about two things: about data being exfiltrated, that is stolen from the app. And second, the concern is about propaganda. GPS is something that can be turned on or off depending on how you use the app. And so some people will turn it on if they want the TikToks that they receive to be very local. My GPS is off, but so it does know your IP address, but your IP address is known by everyone that you interface with on the internet.
Yeah, it seems every app uses that. But as you know, the White House has really been criticized by Republicans over this, hence the answer from the Biden administration. How did this become so political, and what does each side have to gain by making their arguments?
So no one wants to appear weak in the face of a foreign adversary. Everyone wants to appear very strong, that they're protecting Americans. My worry is that this focus distracts us from the real cybersecurity risks, from much more serious cybersecurity risks: spyware, hacking, ransomware. These are so commonplace that we kind of just ignore them, and they've become, we've taken our eye a little bit off the ball. I'm not saying the government isn't worried about that, but Congress has focused, is having hearings on, as you'll see next week, on TikTok, and perhaps should be focused more on other ways, including, of course, the sale of data about us. So you don't have to own the app to acquire the data from it. You might just be able to buy it on the secondary market.
I get it. This is the shiny issue right now, but TikTok says it's spending $1.5 billion on this firewall. And when the CEO talks to Congress, what kinds of things will you be listening for from leadership?
So I think the question is, are we confident that our data is secure, that our data is not being shared widely with any actors that we are unhappy with? And I think, he will have to say, look, these are the things that we're doing to do this. And there has to be auditing and things like that. And I think that's what he's going to try to show next week. And he's also got the challenge to show that it isn't a propaganda machine. Now, note that lots of governments are using TikTok to promote themselves. Politicians use TikTok to promote themselves. The Biden administration has invited TikTok influencers into the White House to promote its agenda. So the propaganda question is a complicated one because politicians want to use any media that they have to promote their views.
All right, Professor Anupam Chander, we're going to leave it there from the Georgetown Law School. I want to thank.
That's y'all's president. So Biden is sitting up here. He is giving away all America's money to Ukraine. That's what he's done. Okay. At the end of the day, we have all these mass shootings that we've dealt with. We have people coming up missing, getting snatched. We have sex trafficking. We have a myriad of issues. There's a whole drug problem. We have people being mistreated in prison, poisoned in prison. And Biden is worried about TikTok. Isn't that something? That's hilarious to me. With all of the economic downfall that we've been experiencing, with the banks keeping people's cash and all of that. And then we had a whole bank collapse just last week. But Biden and his administration, fools though they are, they're worried about TikTok. Make it all make sense. Make it all make sense, okay? And then Denise said children or adults shouldn't be on TikTok. Well, children maybe shouldn't be on there. I mean, I haven't seen anything inappropriate on TikTok. I'm not going to say there is anything or there isn't anything inappropriate. I'm just saying I haven't seen it, likely because of the people that I follow. But I absolutely do think adults should be on TikTok. There's a lot of pertinent information. There's a lot of woke people who have a lot of knowledge that is shared on TikTok. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. I do believe TikTok is racist, just like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. I think all of these non-Black owned social media sites and platforms are racist. I really do. But at the end of the day, this is the way we disseminate information. This is the way we get stuff out, right? And so at the end of the day, if you have children and you think TikTok's inappropriate, just keep them off of there. I told you all to check their phones and all those things. And their computers and whatnot. Okay? You can control your algorithm, says Kenyatta. Right. In some cases. Okay? And so with that all being said, anyway, let me continue because see, Biden is worried about the wrong thing. That's all I'm saying. He's worried about TikTok because he wants to get back in office. Biden, you're too old. Someone in the chat said that Biden's going to eventually soil himself in front of America from all that prune juice. I don't know, but I hope he gets out of office real quick. That's all I'm saying. Anybody but Biden. I have had enough. And I told you all prior to the election that Biden wasn't going to do anything for us and neither was Kabami. But some of y'all didn't listen. Some of you Biden sexuals chose to vote for him anyway. And now you're whining and crying. When you see what's going on with this economy, it's a whole disaster. You see them trying to orchestrate a whole famine. Food is so high. Eggs cost $10,000. I can't afford eggs if I wanted to. I don't really eat eggs, but if I did, I couldn't afford them. They cost $10,000. I mean, I do have to buy them on occasion for my son and his girlfriend, but at the end of the day, when they come by. But I'm just saying, eggs are $10,000. You know, healthy foods will cost you anywhere from about $500 to $2,000 a month. Of course, I'm exaggerating, but y'all know what I'm saying. Stuff is too expensive. Y'all don't notice how high the prices of food are lately? They're trying to make the prices sky high so we can't afford them. Okay? That's what they're trying to do. Reggie said, yup, the Biden sexuals put us in this predicament. Yes. Okay? They absolutely did. Okay, so anyway, let me continue. Because y'all chose Biden. I mean, y'all want to complain about it, y'all picked him. I know good and darn well most of y'all sitting up in that chat voted for him. Y'all can sit down somewhere and miss me with it. Because I know what y'all did, right? So anyway, now let's talk about Cori Bush. Cori Bush and Lauren Boebert. Well, they had a little dispute, and I found it quite interesting. Pay attention.
Louis and I are here today to have a serious discussion about what energy security looks like for people, not corporations. This hearing is not that discussion. If House Republicans actually cared about preventing an energy and economic crisis from happening, they would commit to investing in renewable energy. Unfortunately, there are no serious proposals being offered. Rising inflation caused by Russia's violent invasion of Ukraine and COVID-19 pandemic-related supply chain shortages, combined with dangerous corporate greed and a reliance on fossil fuels, has left the United States in a tenuous position of expensive, unreliable, and unsafe energy. Let's be clear, the Strategic Petroleum Reserve was precisely created to be tapped in emergencies involving severe shortages of oil. Of course, I believe that the best way to avoid similar challenges in the future is to end our reliance on oil. But there should be no doubt that President Biden employed it explicitly for its stated purpose in an emergency when our nation's families and people needed it most. According to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, gas prices peaked at $4.88 in the Midwest region last year and are now down to $3.24 as of this week. People were struggling to get to doctor's appointments or to keep their heat on, and the Republican Party would have loved to do nothing. While the drawdown of the SPR was necessary to bolster supplies in an emergency, future events can be best ameliorated or prevented by reducing our demand for and our reliance on fossil fuels. But my Republican colleagues have unironically invited for-profit think tank and oil titans whose expertise is in maximizing profits, especially at the expense of our Black, our brown, and our indigenous neighbors' health, safety, and well-being. One of these so-called energy experts is a philosopher who has previously espoused white supremacist views. For instance, in his 2000 college newspaper, he wrote, quote, "The African and American Studies Department has 23 classes. In many of these classes, African culture is presented
Mr. Chairman,
not as
I demand
inferior."
the gentlelady's words be taken down. She just called the witness a white supremacist.
No, I referred to the words, not to the person, not to him, the words.
The gentlelady is referring to the witness's statement and referred to him
words?
as a white supremacist. I would like a
I
parliamentary
did
inquiry
not.
into
The
having
chair-
the
no,
gentleman's
excuse me.
words
not.
taken down.
The chair recognizes Congresswoman Boebert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like a parliamentary inquiry into taking down the gentlelady's words, the ranking member's words, for insinuating that our witness made white supremacist statements using his words.
Okay. Okay. The chair cannot take down words that are directed toward a witness, only to other members. All right. Chair recognizes Ranking Member Bush to continue her opening statement.
Mr. Chairman, parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Is it appropriate for the ranking members to show respect to the witnesses who are here present in the committee room today?
I think it would obviously be warranted to show respect for any witness.
I would like that sentiment to be expressed and the members to be reminded to show respect to our witnesses who are here today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Ranking Member Bush.
As I was saying, the African and African American Studies Department, this is the quote, has 23 classes. In many of these classes, African culture is presented not as inferior to Western culture, but as on equal footing with it. In other departments, the same is done with Latin American, Indian, and American Indian culture, end quote. When confronted about these views over 2 decades later, rather than disavow them, he doubled down on this narrative saying, quote, "It has nothing to do with skin color. I was arguing that those cultures overall are inferior to Western culture." We are not inferior to any culture, speaking as a descendant of one of those cultures. This is the witness the Republicans invited to discuss issues of energy security. He came here to promote fossil fuels, which we know are disproportionately harming and killing Black and brown people. Last week, I joined Ranking Member Raskin and all of my Democratic oversight colleagues in calling on oversight Republicans to denounce white nationalism and denounce white supremacy in all its forms. Not one single Republican joined us. So I ask again today, will my Republican colleagues condemn white supremacy and work with us to ensure this committee engages in advancing good and reducing harm rather than perpetuating it? That is respect. Our committee needs to be focused on actions that will help people and prevent financial hurt and pain. Whether we deploy the SPR or we don't, the instability of our energy system will continue if we are reliant on oil. Our committees need safe, reliable, renewable energy, and more investments in public transit. Thank you, and I yield back.
Well, Karen was certainly pressed. She was so pressed. In fact, she didn't even realize how stupid she sounded when she first got shut down with a little grievance she tried to file. And then she comes back and says, well, she said white supremacists using his words. Well, she used his words. So if she's using his words, isn't he the problem? And then pay attention. He literally said from what she read that other cultures, meaning us and Latinos more likely than not, are inferior to them. And so he's clearly a supremacist, okay? That's the type of people that think that way and say those things. So her point was null and void, and she sounded, quite frankly, stupid. She couldn't make that make sense, okay? Yes, Lauren Boebert says old school money love. So anyway, with that all been said, Terry Hinton said, you regret voting for Biden. Well, I know you do, beloved. It's okay. How many of the rest of you Biden sexuals want to come clean? How many of you other Biden sexuals want to come clean? Terry Hinton has fessed up and said, admitted regretting voting for Biden. How many of the rest of you feel the same way? Y'all just going to sit there and lie and pretend y'all didn't vote for Biden? Please sit down somewhere. Please sit down somewhere, because I know that some of y'all voted for Biden. Anyway, let me continue. The lies continue with you all. So anyway, Cori Bush set her straight, okay? And him too, by the way. So now I'm going to play this video. I'm going to share my screen because there's a video of, well, I posted a video yesterday on TikTok basically talking about the whole HB 999 bill, right? The HB 999 bill, which says that they want to remove all types of studies and funding from programs or campus activities that promote equity, inclusion, and diversity. They want to remove those. Remember, I talked to you about that, and I said that's going to be the end of Black fraternities and sororities. They claim it won't, but it could be. So anyway, I posted that video. I posted a TikTok about it. And then someone shared my TikTok, and I just happened to see it as I was scrolling. And so someone left a comment on their post of my repost. And so I had to address them because they sounded real crazy, trying to talk trash about Black folk. Please sit down somewhere. And first of all, at the end of the day, no. I'm sorry. This isn't the video. That was another video I had to respond to. This one that I'm going to show you is my response to some Brad who was upset about us asking for reparations. They shared my video also about the NAACP in San Francisco denying or, refusing the $5 million and saying that the money should be allocated to healthcare, housing, and a cultural center and all of those things. Yeah. So they responded to that. This person did specifically. Pay attention. Okay, here we go, people. So let's just get into it. First of all, I don't know why this person is so mad. I mean, at the end of the day, what did we ever do to people that look like you? We aren't the ones who enslaved people. We're not the ones who put people through 150 years of Jim Crow. We're not the ones who caused all the race riots. We're not the ones who committed all the lynchings, burning crosses in people's yards, forming whole hate groups, walking around with white hoods on and white robes. We didn't do any of those things. So what's the problem? And then you talk about sending us back to Africa. Well, here's the thing. Most of us were already here. You see, unlike yourself, we're indigenous to this land. And if we were going to Africa, we wouldn't be going by a boat in 2023. We'd go by plane, beloved. So what you should probably do is save that money. And instead of trying to help us get boats to Africa, you may want to purchase yourself a nice little cozy vacation back over there to those mountains that are real close to Turkey. You know the ones I'm talking about. Another thing is you're upset because we're asking for reparations. So you think we don't deserve it and that we're just lazy. Funny thing is your ancestors, the people who look like you, they actually did get reparations, but not because they went through slavery, not because they were treated with inhumane practices and tactics, not because anything nefarious was done to them. They got reparations because the slaves were freed and they lost their property. And you want to call us lazy and say we need to get jobs because we're asking for reparations? Well, you should have told your ancestors that. Oh, I'm sorry, you weren't there back then, huh? Well, maybe someone else should have told your ancestors that, because the people who are lazy are the same people who wanted other people to do all of the work for them and didn't even have the decency to pay them a single dime. And those people that did all that work for free, well, they only started calling those people lazy after slavery ended and those people no longer worked for them for free. Pay attention. You see, this is absolutely why we need critical race theory, because sadly, some people are so full of hate and so nefarious. And the thing is, they don't even know the truth or don't want to know the truth and want to deny the truth of their own wicked history. Pay attention. Okay, sit down somewhere, honey. Trying to act like we're so lazy and, oh, we shouldn't get reparations, and told us he would pay money, he would help raise money for a boat so we can go back to Africa to get our 40 acres and a mule. Honey, sit down somewhere. And then after I did that video, another Brad came on there and commented and said, hey, why don't you go and research how the Moors treated the Slavic people? I said, what does how the Moors treating the Slavic people have to do with me? What does that have to do with me? And another thing is this. I said, yeah, I know what the Moors did. And I said they also conquered Sicily, but they also helped the Europeans. I mean, they did teach y'all how to bathe. Please sit down somewhere. Please sit down somewhere. Okay? It's just saying. Anyway. See, they don't realize it or know it, but they actually do me a favor when they leave little dumb comments like that, because all that is extra commentary, because I'm going to make a video responding just so I can add another video to my TikTok for the day, so I can keep the algorithm going. So they're helping the queen out with their silly selves. Okay, pay attention. So anyway, let me show this last video, and then I'm out of here, beloveds. I'm out of here. And also, I may have a Trivia Friday on the spiritual channel today. And if I do, it will be for the members. Now, everybody can come in on the channel, but I'm just saying the only ones who will be able to win are the members. That's all I'm saying, honey. I have to support those who support me, okay? Y'all can't pay $2.99 for a membership, honey. I'm not giving y'all Nathan for free. Pay attention. All right, it is what it is. Okay, so with that all being said, let me show this last video I did, honey, because this woman right here cracked me up. You know how they always trying to make woke into a bad word, like it's something so negative. And mind you, none of them were saying the word woke until we started saying the word woke, when we started waking up from the slumber. Pay attention.
% of Americans consider themselves very liberal, and probably fewer of them consider themselves to be woke. And so, you know, when we talk about traditional,
what does that mean to you? Would you mind defining woke? Because it's come up a couple times, and I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
So, I mean, woke is sort of the idea that this is going to be one of those moments that goes viral. I mean, woke...
Yes, but for a different reason than she thinks.
...is something that's very hard to define, and we've spent an entire chapter defining it.
Okay.
It is sort of,
guys, you've got to read a whole chapter to understand what it is.
the understanding that we need to totally reimagine and redo society in order to create hierarchies of oppression.
What? To create hierarchies of oppression? What are you talking about, Bethany?
Sorry, it's hard to explain in a 15-second soundbite.
But yeah, look, your time.
She said to create a racial hierarchy. Bethany, please sit down somewhere. She didn't even know what woke was. She couldn't even define it. And you see, that's the thing with them. They try to take anything that we use to empower and uplift ourselves and turn it into something bad. So for those of you who don't know what woke means, because I'm sure we all do, but for the ones who don't, that's been under a rock, let me just tell you what woke is. You see, in this country, the divided snakes, they say that people come here for the American dream. People come here for the American dream. Yes, this is true. It's a dream. That means it's not reality. There is nothing so significant or so wonderful and great for people who look like us. And so the minute that you wake up from the dream, i.e. the slumber, and you start to realize, honey, that this is just what it is and this is just what devils do, and we have to start unifying and getting ourselves together and empowering and getting knowledge for ourselves, well, then you become woke. When you start trying to raise your levels of vibrational frequencies and you start trying to raise your levels of consciousness and you start doing your research and learning who you are and from whence you came, and you realize that all the lies they taught us when we were in school from K through 12 was just a point of just a method of indoctrination. When you start to realize that the whole time we were in church, whether it was Christian or Baptist or whatever, when you realize that they were indoctrinating us and telling us a whole bunch of lies, had us thinking that the Savior was white and all that, it's really Caesar Borgia. When you start realizing those things, then you learn that you can actually activate your pineal gland, which is your third eye, and then you can see things more clearly. You can see past the veil. You can see past the smoke screen. You can see past all of the nefarious BS that they put in our way for stumbling blocks. That's when you're woke, Bethany. That's what woke means, beloved. But you see, when they say woke, they try to use it in a negative light just because they hate the fact that we say it and that it's something positive to us. And they try to turn everything positive into a negative. And I want you all to pay attention because this is what they have always done. When you think about the word, how they call us jiggers with an N. Now, they got that word from the word niggas. Niggas, Negus. Niggas. We call ourselves niggas. Some of y'all say, oh, y'all need to quit saying the N-word. No, we don't. No, we don't. Words have power. Okay, I've told y'all that. I've done videos about it, telling you how you cast spells with words. Let me tell y'all something. I need y'all to pay attention. You see, some of y'all say, stop calling each other niggas and say king and queen. Well, at the end of the day, that's what a negus is, a nigga. Okay, Negus, yes. That's what it means. Royalty, emperor, one who rules. Okay, that word is from Ethiopia. All right. That's what some of your ancestors said. So at the end of the day, now what you should find interesting is the fact that we, because of our DNA, we still say what our ancestors said, even though the devils tried to use it and turn it into a negative connotation. At the end of the day, we still say it as a term of endearment to one another. Now, you can agree or disagree, but that's just what it is. Another thing that you should pay attention to is even though they tried to disassociate us from being the Aboriginals, the indigenous people of this land that was once called Turtle Island, even though they tried to call us different names, they were calling us Negroes, colored, then black, then African American. Now some of y'all call yourselves FBA. None of that stuff, all of those things are misnomers. At the end of the day, most of us were already here on this land, and we are absolutely the original natives. Okay, we are the original natives, and that's just a fact. And here's the thing. Did you know that there was certain tribes, okay, natives, of course, who look like us, but did you know that there were certain tribes, and these tribes had some of the same names that some of y'all have, like Shaniqua? Y'all might think that sounds ghetto, but that's an Indian name, okay, not a Native American that we see now, the $5 Indian descendants. No, I'm talking about the ones who look like us, okay? Shaniqua, Latoya, all those names came from Indian tribes. Pay attention. So I said all that to say, if you don't know your roots, if you don't know your history, then they can fool you all the time. Conscious said woke means black. No, woke doesn't mean black. If I say you're woke, that doesn't mean, oh, you're black. No. Woke means that you have awakened from the slumber of this falsehood that they give in this narrative that they push, talking about an American dream. Woke means that you have raised your level of consciousness, okay? You have moved on to a higher learning, a higher level of thinking, okay? That's what that means, okay? You have awakened and you see past the matrix. You've unplugged from the matrix. That's what that means, all right? So anyway, that all being said, everyone, please like and share. Subscribe to the channels if you haven't done so already. If you're mad, unsubscribe. Y'all know I don't care. Let me remind you. Okay, with that all being said, I want to thank you all for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. Also to those of you tuned in on the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. Please like and share the videos. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur and on TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, Twitter at DGoddess27. Remember, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
With that gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got